नमस्कार नमस्कार नमस्कार। जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र, जय भवानी, जय शिवाजी। आप देख रहे हैं मुझको आरकेबी को नेशन नाउ पर। मैं हूं एडवोकेट प्रदीप नाम्बियार जी के साथ, या प्रदीप नाम्बियार जी हैं मेरे साथ, और हम दोनों हैं नेशन नाउ पर। नेशन नाउ हमेशा किसके साथ? आपके साथ। प्रदीप जी, वंदे मातरम।
वंदे मातरम,
वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम। प्रदीप जी, just recently, I mean just 2 or 3 days ago, you went to the Air India colony.
I went, yes.
Air India colony at Kalina.
Bilkul, sir.
And you found the situation over there pretty serious.
The plight very
what is happening? Because Air India employees are living in the Air India colony.
Exactly, sir.
Now that has gone to Adani, the land.
Bilkul.
But the Tatas have stopped their salary. What's going on?
Sir,
so are Adani and Tata working in tandem to see to it that that piece of land becomes available to Mr. Adani? There's something here which I don't understand. We will have Mr. George Abraham, the man who headed the Air India Association for a long time, to explain the entire thing to us, but there seems to be something terribly wrong here.
Sir, the point is the Air India employees are still staying at the Air India colony residence in Kalina.
Yes.
Got 3 colonies out there, or 4
now
colonies
that is this. By the way, this subject has got nothing to do with the Belpada wetlands.
Yes, Bilkul.
We'll talk about that at 9 o'clock.
Sir.
We are not talking about it right now. Right now, we are talking about Air India. Ji,
so the residents are employees of Air India.
Yes.
On Tata takeover of Air India, they were served 1 year notice that you have to evict the colonies.
You have to vacate your flats.
Yes, you have to vacate the colonies, and the cut-off date, I think, probably get it in somewhere in November last month, and from this month onwards, they have started deducting salaries of the people who are not evicted.
They're charging market rate.
They are market rate. So in the process,
मतलब प्रदीप जी,
बिल्कुल sir,
लोगों को बिल मिल रहा होगा, सैलरी नहीं मिल रही होगी.
Salary पूरा इसमें चला जाता है. The entire thing is penal rent.
I mean, this is terrible.
Penal rent which Air India is charging now. Air India.
But that's unfair. That's very unfair.
Sir, you got a clause in the takeover that they have to evict. I mean, what kind of an agreement is this? Where within 1 year of takeover you have to evict or 6 months.
But rightfully speaking, it is the government. It is the government of India.
Yes.
Which ought to have seen to this problem and provided relief and rehabilitation. Right now, I think we have got our very old friend, Mr. George Abraham, with us. All right, George is not here with us. Not as yet. George is not with us.
This protest was organized by Air India employees and their families who are residing in their colonies in Kalina. There are 4 to 5 colonies out there in Kalina, and the entire residents, they all came out. They all came out fighting that please don't do this to us. Now the point here is Tata is supposed to be absolutely employee friendly.
Yeah.
Employee friendly.
Yes.
They talk about human resources, they talk about human values, they talk about need to take over the human and motivate people to give their best for the organization. That is what they are known for. And here you have the employees protesting, don't cut the penal rent that you are charging. We are not getting any money to take home. How are you going to do? How are you going to pay the school fees? How are you going to take care of the monthly expenses? Look, a huge rally it was, sir, in large numbers. Now, the government has to decide, now you have to be, what was so urgency in evicting the people out of from this colony?
लेकिन प्रदीप जी, मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, ये तो चलो ठीक है जो आप बता रहे हैं, मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि भाई आपने एयर इंडिया जो है वो बेच दी किसको? टाटास को. जमीन जो है वो कहा कि भाई the assets of Air India, these kind of assets, not the planes.
Yes.
But the land assets will not be given to the Tatas.
Yes.
ये कहा गया. ये land जो है ये airport authority की land है. Am I right?
Exactly.
From whatever I can make out.
The best
ये airport authority जो है
find out.
ये airport authority जो है ये गई है Adani साहब के पास.
बिल्कुल.
Now Mr. Adani is well within his right certainly to ask for this land because that is part of his plan.
Yes.
Part of his business plan. ये business plan का हिस्सा है.
Yes.
लेकिन ये तो सरकार को करना चाहिए था ना.
Exactly.
हमें तो ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. Now can we hear what the people have to say? Let's hear it. Can we take a look at what the people told Advocate Pradeep Nambiar when he went over there? Let's take a look.
बात हमारे ऐसे है कि हमने जो रिटायरमेंट के ऊपर हम लोग बैठे हैं, क्योंकि हमने अभी तक जो कमाई की है वो सारी की सारी कमाई हम लोगों ने हमारे बच्चों लोगों के पीछे पढ़ाई के लिए लगाई ले। 30 लाख 25 लाख 50 लाख, क्योंकि हम लोगों ने दिल में ख्वाब रखा था कि कभी हम रिटायर होंगे तभी हम वो रिटायरमेंट का पैसे से हम अपना खुद का मकान बना लेंगे, तब तक हम कंपनी ने दिए हुए हैं मकान में ही रहेंगे। बट अभी ऐसा हुआ है, परिस्थिति बहुत नाजुक और कठिन आ गई है। ऐसा है कि अभी ये जो मसला है, ये मसला हाई कोर्ट में अभी पेंडिंग है। हाई कोर्ट में पेंडिंग होने के बावजूद भी हमें मैनेजमेंट, हाई कोर्ट के पेंडिंग रहने के बावजूद भी मैनेजमेंट हमको हैरेसमेंट कर रहे हैं। अभी हमारे कई कर्मचारियों का पेमेंट यहाँ पर कटा लिया। अभी हम हमारा गुजारा कैसे करेंगे? हमारे बच्चों लोग का जो फीस है वो हम फीस कैसे भरेंगे? हमारा निवारा कैसे करेंगे? यानी कि ज़्यादा तक अभी हम लोग सब हैरेसमेंट में आ गए ले। बहुत सारे लोगों को
ये बहुत तकलीफ है।
Right, I think we've got George Abraham with us. George Abraham sahab, veteran union leader, the man who's really fought for the rights of Air India employees all his life. George Abraham, part of the Congress party, and of course, he's also won a couple of elections. George sahab, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Great to have you back. Great to have you back on the show after such a long time.
Yes.
I can see you. Except the only thing is that you are all over the frame. But that's all right. George, could you tell us? Both Pradeep ji and I are here, and we really would love to know what is going on here. Why are Air India employees being asked to leave the homes that they have inhabited now for the last God knows how many decades? Suddenly, out of the blue, the Tatas come along and tell them, "Okay, get out of here." What's going on?
So it's like this. The government of Maharashtra,
Yes.
several decades ago,
Yes.
gave this parcel of land to the Airports Authority of India
Yes.
to build an airport in Maharashtra.
Yes.
At that time, there was only Air India. So Air India was operating and were given this plot of land, leased for 69 years, which ended in 1990 onwards. There are 4 colonies,
Yes.
and the total land area is about 184 acres.
184 acres, right.
Yeah, at that
Gee.
time, this Air India head was Tata's.
Yes.
And so they built this colony for the residents adjoining the airport so that it will facilitate their coming and going from the airport.
Right. And now,
In 2006, Mumbai airport was privatized
yes.
and GVK got 80% stake in Airports Authority of India.
Yes, MIA.
And
Yes.
MIAL was constituted.
That's right.
And from 2008 onwards till 2021, there was absolutely no problem. There was no move on the part of GVK to ever displace colony residents or even those in the old airport, except for a few parcels of land adjoining the Sahar International Airport,
Yes.
which was discussed with the company and mutually agreed and handed over to them
Yes.
for expansion of the airport activities. Thereafter, 2021, Adani took over, or virtually GVK was ousted from MIL and Adani took over.
Yes.
Ever since Adani took over, officials of the government of India have been bending backwards to evict all the colony residents and all the old airport structures and hand over the entire land to Adani.
Right.
We have 310 acres of land where the offices of Air India are situated at Old Airport.
Yes.
And another 184 where all the 4 colonies are there.
Yes.
There were originally 1600 flats, but by taking various coercive steps, they have managed to threaten and frighten several of the employees into leaving the colony.
Right.
Now there are around 500 families living there.
Yes.
The matter is in Bombay High Court. Air India has given, the government of India has given an affidavit in the Bombay High Court saying that they will only take action under the Public Premises Eviction Act. There is
Yes.
no provision for any sort of penal rent or such kind of fines that are being levied or proposed to be levied by the Government of India or Air India. And I suspect the share purchase agreement between Air India and the Government of India contains a clause stating that the Tatas will facilitate, eviction of the colony.
Which is sad,
That is
isn't it?
why they are not showing the share purchase agreement even in the courts.
Yes.
So in this scenario, all the employees are going to get zero salary. Now we wonder, employees working for Air India, why should Air India cut the money and give it to the government?
Now, यहाँ पे जॉर्ज साहब एक चीज, just one small thing. You and I
Yeah.
have had lots and lots of discussions on airports and things like that. And by the way, I must state this over here again. This man, George Abraham was the man responsible for leading the protest against the handing over of the airport to Dinata. It was George Abraham and his team, and of course Pradeep ji and everybody else was also involved, but George Abraham and his team that actually found that Dinata's board actually had retired generals of the Pakistani ISI. I mean, I remember in about 2000, 2001,
Yes.
effectively the airport had actually been handed over to Dinata.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
the uniforms had been made. I still remember that. I
And the
still
security-
remember,
And on national security grounds, it was revoked.
Yes, absolutely. Now, George, and right now Mr. George Abraham is with us. Of course, Pradeep will also come in right now. But I still want to know. The Tatas are supposed to be one of the most people-friendly companies in the world, not just in India. Why are the Tatas doing this? Why are the Tatas doing this to Air India employees? If they don't want them, they should just give them a golden handshake and say, all right, Tata, bye-bye, or bye-bye, Tata, whatever it is that you want to do. And it's been nice knowing you. That's it. George.
I have a feeling in the share purchase agreement between the Tatas and the Government of India,
Yes.
there is a clause which states that the Tatas for 1 year at least will facilitate taking over of the colonies and their employees being sent out.
Right.
Otherwise, there is no reason why the Tata should be helping the government to evict all the colony residents. Because legally, we have every right to stay there. Our housing policy states very clearly that you will stay until retirement, death, resignation or dismissal. And none of the four things have happened to us.
Yes.
So we should stay till retirement.
Right.
And even then we are willing for a compromise. We say that in 5 acres, all the colony residents can be relocated and the remaining 180 acres you can take. And either way, it will take you a lot of time to develop 184 acres. And the operations, management, development agreement between the Government of India and the private organization says that you can develop this leased land for airport related activities or even non-airport related activities. I mean, this is criminal on the part of the Government of India.
You mean to say airport related activities or non-airport
Or
related activities?
non-airport related activities.
So in effect, that area around the airport where the Air India colony is can be
Yes.
used for anything else,
Yes.
any other commercial purpose.
Yes.
Wow. Pradeep,
George Tata's is known to be more people-friendly, more employee-friendly, more to the gelling with the management, the worker-employee relationship
Exactly.
has been absolutely. Why do you think Tata has fallen for this bait where they have signed an agreement with the Government of India saying that 1 year they will assess their eviction? And what is the urgency? Adani has land right from Andheri to Sakinaka. You got hundreds and hundreds of acres of land which they can always start the work there and come back to Air India, because Air India colonies, anytime you can enter into a deal with the employees and get eviction. But why the first target being the employees and the colonies? Something fishy.
See, everyone knows that the Adanis are the blue-eyed boys of this government. And therefore, everybody, even the courts are afraid to pass judgments against them. It is evident that, they are getting away with murder. What they are doing right now, everything is blatantly illegal. The matter is in court. they have they have total disregard for the courts. Otherwise, having given an affidavit in court stating that they will take action only under the PP Act, and there is no action under the PP Act, they are doing all kinds of illegal things.
But George, over here, one small thing. Mr. Adani and Adani's companies, they are not in the picture at all right now. आज की तारीख में जो एम्प्लॉइज का मसला है उसमें अडानी साहब तो कहीं आते नहीं है. अडानी साहब का ना कोई एविक्शन नोटिस आया, ना कुछ और आया है. ये तो सिर्फ टाटाज और एम्प्लॉइज के बीच में है. बट
अगर भारत सरकार
जी
सारे गंदा काम अदानी के लिए करने के लिए तैयार है तो अदानी सामने क्यों आए? When the government of India is willing to do all the dirty work for the Adanis, why should Adanis come in front?
So is
Not
this...
only that, the government has denied arrears to all those staying in the colony.
Right.
When there was a shortage of funds in Air India in 2012, they withheld 25% of the allowances of the employees.
Yes. Right.
Those allowances were given to everybody except those staying in the colony.
Except those staying in the colony. Isn't
Then
that
they
terrible?
have discontinued the employees who were distributing the water in the colonies.
Discontinued the employment of the people who were distributing water in the colony. So are you saying that even the water has been cut off?
Even those who were supplying the water,
Yes.
their services have been terminated, and therefore we had to get private people after 2-3 days from outside, and at our own expense we are getting water supply continued.
Yes.
Similarly, they have not paid electricity bills. And very surreptitiously, about a month back, Tata Power was changed to Adani Power some months back. And now Adani comes and says, you have not paid the bills, electricity bills, we are going to disconnect.
Right.
And George, I was told that earlier the electric connection were of Tata's, and now it is Adani's electricity, so they can come and cut anytime the electric services
Yeah,
too.
it's gone to Adani's now. We are with Adani.
No, but the only thing over here is which I find somewhat strange. George, hang on a minute. Just listen to me. I was told we worked on this quite a lot. This MERC and Adani Power and Tata Power. It is up to the individual to decide which meter he or she wants. You cannot arbitrarily change all the meters to Adani Power from Tata Power. How did that happen, George?
All this happened very surreptitiously between the management of Air India and the Adani group.
Right.
Tatas were ousted and Adani supply was introduced in the colonies.
Right. So Tata's just wanted to get rid of the headache of distribution. Now,
Or maybe they had no choice.
Yes. No, but over here, I would like to know from you. I agree. The share purchase agreement, there must be a secret clause which they are not revealing. There must be a confidentiality clause which is not being revealed, and so on and so forth. However, what I really would like to know is this because the Tatas also want to downsize their employee liability on their balance sheet in Air India? Because they are finding it difficult to run at the moment in terms of expenditure, in terms of cash flow, in terms of balancing their books. Do you think this is also an exercise in which, all right, it's very good, to say that the Tatas are being forced, but the Tatas have been known to say no. They could always say no. George.
See, they have already come out with one voluntary retirement scheme.
Yes.
And large number of employees have availed of voluntary retirement.
Yes.
That is how many have quit the colony also.
Yes.
So now, on completion of 1 year in January,
Yes.
they are supposed to come out with one more voluntary scheme.
Yes.
So there are graceful ways of asking staff to leave the company.
Right.
There is no need, there is no provision in law for them to forcibly remove anybody from employment.
Yes. Yes. So that's why, Pradeep ji, these tactics are being tried. कहने का मतलब ये हुआ. जी बताएं.
Now everything is going against the employees, George. You got your matters in court, nobody's hearing, the court is going slow. Eviction, actually Air India colony employees should have been the last resort. Now, instead of being the last resort, they are the first resort. They are being asked to evict. And it was very surprising that immediately after takeover, they issued a 6 months notice, 6 months eviction notice, if I'm wrong, if I'm right.
Yes.
Now, that is absolutely, I mean, nobody seems to be interested in this particular things, apart from the unions. No opposition party or the ruling party, nobody raising this issue, how the Air India employees are facing these hardships. Is the problem only in Mumbai or in all stations wherever these colonies?
In Delhi, there's a similar problem. And they also have gone to the High Court.
Right.
And parallelly, along with our issue, even their matter is being heard.
Right.
There, the person who was in the forefront of going to court, all of a sudden he gets a transfer order saying, tomorrow you go and join duty at Trivandrum. And they are virtually hounding him now.
Right.
So they are doing this in Delhi also. In Chennai, they have succeeded in removing everybody. In Kolkata, because there are only few people in the colonies. Kolkata and Chennai, they have succeeded, but Delhi is a huge colony. There also people are fighting it out just like us.
Right, but the only thing is, George, what I really would like to know from you is, don't you think there is a better way of doing things? Agreed.
There is.
I agree. Mr. Adani, that is the Adani management would like the land. I agree that Tatas would like to balance their books. They would like Air India to run. They would not like to shut it down. There has to be profitability. After all, this is no longer a Government of India enterprise. I agree. But don't you think there could be a far better and more humane way of doing things?
Exactly.
George? So why isn't it being done?
On 27th of January,
Yes.
this matter will be heard by the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court.
Right.
And we are very hopeful that we will get a stay order on these illegal deductions
Yes.
because it is blatantly illegal.
Right. 27th of January.
27th of January,
By the Bombay High Court.
Bombay High Court. So hopefully this month's deduction will not happen. And
Right.
on the contrary, the last month's deductions will be restored.
Everybody's last hope, Pradeep ji. Everybody's last hope.
Yes, yes,
Everybody's
it's the
last line of support is
Yeah.
is the court. But George, you've been associated with the Congress, right?
Yeah.
There are so many people associated with the BJP. There are so many people associated with the Samajwadi Party, with the Balasaheb Anchi Shiv Sena, with the Shiv Sena, with the with just about every party. As Pradeep ji said just now, why aren't these parties coming forward to even talk about the plight of the Air India employees? I find this strange. Why is nobody raising their voice on this?
We had a massive demonstration about 6 months back in which about 4,500 employees and their families participated.
Right.
And there we invited all political parties.
Yes.
All of them assured us that they would take up our matter, but none of them have taken up the matter.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
George, this eviction now, are they giving any alternate accommodation to the families of the employees?
No alternate accommodation, no compensation.
My goodness. So the tradition of Air India, the tradition of big giant corporations of having housing colonies for the employees, having facilities for the employees. I've been told that there have been cut in medical facilities for the employees, which were one of the best medical facilities that Air India always had. Even that has been taken off. So the sum is this privatization and takeover by Tata by Air India, and the airport by Adani. The people are losing. The people have lost. The employees have lost. They have not gained. What are the employees gained?
They have lost one hell of a lot.
Now, this is what I'm saying. There's restrictions about employment. There's restrictions cut down. There's giant scaling of employees. There's everything they want to do, but we don't hear even the passages that airline employees all over the world gets. Even that has been drastically reduced. You have drastically reduced medical facilities for the retired people. You have reduced passage facilities entitled for the people. You're cutting off the housing that the government provides. Now, these are the basic amenities which every government and every public carrier or public government will relish, enjoy to give it to the employees. You are just drastically taking it away. So this entire process seems to be anti-employees, against the interest of the employees. Everything the employees enjoyed in decades have been taken away from them. What do you say, George? I mean, this is absolutely impossible to believe that,
That
these
this
things
could
are
be happening in
now.
Air India.
What is happening for the past 1 year is virtually criminal.
Right?
And everybody is mortally scared, whether it be any politician.
You're also seeing a disintegration of union leaders, because apart from you, George Abraham, you have been taking up issues. We don't find, the aggressive tone among the leaders of these things are not there. What the employees are virtually, apart from you and a few others along with you, nobody seems to be taking, and there's no direction to the entire thing. How do you see this?
See, most of the union leaders have retired.
Okay.
I too have retired. Only I am an exception that I continue in the union,
Right.
in the same post. But most of them have retired and moved on, and therefore they are not there. Air India has not recruited for the past 18 years.
Yes.
That's a major thing, sir. Yes, sir.
They have recruited people under new terms of and conditions, on inferior service conditions. All are 3-year fixed term contract.
Yes.
So they are very vulnerable. They cannot be very active in the union. Immediately the contracts will not be renewed.
Yes.
So Air India is no more the same Air India that it was.
No, but George, over here, I really would like to know, why is it that none of the media houses are taking it up, taking this up? This is strange. I mean, we are a very small channel, yeah? But we are doing this. If we can do it, I'm sure so can all these biggies. All these are giants. They're huge. I'm sure they can take it up. Why aren't they taking it up? Because I've not seen Air India employees' problems being discussed at all in any channel anywhere in the country. George.
At one time, Air India was the most favorite amongst all the media.
Yes.
We were there in the news for any and every reason.
Right.
And now, the media has virtually abandoned us. They have
Yeah.
found greener
Except us.
pastures.
Except us. We're still there.
Yeah, good.
George, Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress leader, he has
Yes.
been lashing out against this particular government. They said this government has, ended the entire government organizations, public sector is totally finished, and more contract people in contract labor. He says, where are the jobs? Where is the employment? Now you said nobody has been recruited from the past so many years. Nothing has been happening, and what comes is a prevailing contract system. Now, end of public sector and more of contract services. The problem, as Mallikarjun Kharge said, the Congress leader said, where are the jobs? That's the same thing in Air India. You are facing the same thing. Where are the jobs, George Abraham?
And the jobs are all contract jobs.
Yes,
They were inferior service conditions.
yes.
There's no guarantee that they will not be that the contract will be renewed. On flimsy grounds, they are told that your contract cannot be renewed.
And over here, George, the fact is that everybody seems to have forgotten the stellar role that Air India has played in the last 75 years of independence in India. Wherever Indians have been in trouble, it is Air India that has gone and airlifted them. No questions
Yes.
asked, no nothing. At the moment, by privatizing all these airlines, at the end of the day, what are you doing? One of the major, the greatest attraction of joining Air India used to be, you'd get a house, you'd be treated like family, everybody would be all around you, there'd be so many welfare schemes of which you could take advantage and your kids would be looked after. Today, it seems almost as if the Tatas themselves have decided to downgrade their own brand.
The Tatas are no longer
George.
Tatas.
See, some 3 months back,
Yes.
one doctor from Air India, aged 38 years, died of a heart attack.
Right.
2 days before he died, he had a chat with me and he told me that I took up the Air India job, though I had 3 other offers, only because there was a housing close to the place of work.
Right.
And he got his daughter removed from the Air India school and taken to a private school. And he was so tense about all that. And all of a sudden, this 38-year-old physically fit doctor expired.
Terrible.
And now we have around 120 employees who virtually get 0 salaries.
Yes.
Where will they go with their families? Their children are in Air India school.
Right.
All kinds of facilities are there. Even if you want a hutment in a Kalina, you need to pay 15,000.
Yes.
And if you want a one-bedroom house, you have to pay about 30,000.
Yes.
So what is, seriously, I don't see what those families will do. I mean, this is extreme cruelty.
So
What
in,
the
so
government
so in effect, the corporate system in the United States of America has actually come over here to India. We don't care.
Yeah.
Effectively, we don't care. So what happens now, George? January 27th, you're hopeful that in the Bombay High Court, the Air India employees will get some relief. I hope they
Yes.
do.
We are very, very hopeful that we will get some relief. And once that relief happens, then we get a lease of life, and then we'll ready ourselves for the second round of the battle.
Wow.
And what about the school, Air India
Lovely.
Modern School? Are they going to shut it down or they're going to keep it on? Because
See, they cannot shut it down because the land school comes under the development plan reservation,
Yes.
and it is run by the state government, recognized by the state government. But by default, it will close down. If the
Because
colleges
there
are
won't be students.
there won't be students.
That's right. There won't be
By
any
default,
students. Right.
it will
Yes.
close down.
Absolutely. And as Pradeep, you said that even the medical facilities are being withdrawn, other facilities are also being withdrawn. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Right, George, all the very best to you for January the 27th. God
Yeah.
bless you. God bless you for leading the fight. May you have more strength.
Yeah.
Whereas
Thank you.
everybody wants profit, everybody wants Air India to run, but not at the cost of people. There is a human cost involved that we must never lose sight of. Great talking to you, Mr. George Abraham. Lovely talking to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay.
Right, that's George Abraham. Still fighting hard, Pradeep ji. I admire this guy. This guy is really and truly,
sir,
he's a fighter.
when you got an Aam Aadmi Party people coming next. This
Yes.
is where we find that nobody is taking up these issues. Who's going to take up these issues?
But I have
Why
hope.
political
George,
parties?
sir, George is taking
George-
it up.
George- of course,
we are
George
taking
is
it
doing
up.
it. George is
The
doing it.
Aam Aadmi Party is fighting.
We-
That's hope.
अब सर स्कूल बंद हो रहा
I
है
am
अब
hopeful.
एयर इंडिया मॉडर्न स्कूल बंद होने वाला है एयर इंडिया कॉलोनी के लोगों को एविक्ट करने वाले हैं लोगों को वहां के बेनिफिट्स
Yes.
नहीं मिल रहा बेनिफिट मेडिकल बेनिफिट्स कट रहा है जीरो सैलरीज मिल रहा है अटर दादागिरी चल रहा है कि आप खाली कर दो या जीरो पगार ऐसे हालात में नो पार्टी इज टेकिंग एनी स्टैंड
Pradeep ji,
कांग्रेस
Pradeep ji, the next step is going to be, जो मुझको जो खबर मुझे मिली है,
Yes.
अगला कदम ये होगा, instead of getting a salary, they'll get a bill.
that's what's happening
हर एक को बिल मिलेगा
Yes.
कि भाई साहब आप यहाँ पे हमारे घर में रह रहे हैं, उसका किराया इतना है वो भर दीजिए और
नहीं
साथ
तो-
में बिजली का बिल इतना है, नहीं तो काट देंगे.
No, that is what they've threatened. आपको पीएफ भी नहीं मिलेगा, ग्रेजुएटी नहीं मिलेगा, सब हम काट के अपने पास रख देंगे.
That's
खाली
right.
कीजिए आप.
Otherwise, get out.
Yes.
And what happens to you after that is your business,
बिल्कुल.
not ours.
Nothing to do with
Right,
it.
I agree. You got to balance your books. But you have to take care of human lives as well. This is terrible. And the only, I see hope. I see hope in the fact that people like George are still fighting. And I see hope in the fact that you have the Aam Aadmi Party fighting for the poorest of the poor. Now, एक चीज बता दें आपको, हाल ही में, कल और आज, पंजाब के मुख्यमंत्री जनाब भगवंत सिंह मान साहब, सरदार भगवंत सिंह मान साहब यहीं मुंबई में थे. उन्होंने इन्वेस्टर्स के साथ बहुत मीटिंग्स करी और उन्होंने बताया किस प्रकार उन्होंने पंजाब में how he has transformed schools, how he is transforming hospitals, how he is building mohalla clinics, and how he is giving 300 units of electricity free. I tell you what, this is the only party that I know of in the entire country which actually looks at its manifesto and goes back to the people every 2 months or 3 months and says, hey, listen, we had promised you this, we have fulfilled it. We had promised you this, we have fulfilled it. Right now, from the Aam Aadmi Party, the working president of the Aam Aadmi Party Mumbai, with us once again, Mr. Ruben Mascarenas. Ruben Saab, namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Great to be on your show once again.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming. Could you tell us something about the trip of Mr. Bhagwant Mann? I believe it was kind of successful, quite successful. He was actually able to sell his vision of Punjab and the Aam Aadmi Party's people-oriented vision for Punjab. Could you tell us, please?
No, absolutely. Bhagwant Mann ji was visiting Mumbai as part of his Punjab government's outreach to industry and business houses
Yes.
across all sectors. and he won the hearts of Mumbaikars as well as industrialists alike. He met people from across the spectrum. And the good thing was that he said that, hey, I'm not here to come and take wealth out of Mumbai or
Yes.
take opportunities out of Mumbai. I'm here to work together. And I think we should all work together to make India grow.
Yes.
And I think that did strike a chord. What was also very exciting was his agility, because when there was an interaction with business houses and captains of industry at the Taj Mahal Hotel, I was there. And when they asked him nuanced question, his attention to detail was bang on. He knew. This wasn't staged. This wasn't like some stage managed affair. But he knew everything. He knew what the bottlenecks are. He was, very proactive in terms of what the government would do to be accommodative of this investment there. And
Right.
his thing was simple. He said something which was very interesting. He was like, पहले single window होता था, लेकिन वो single window सरकार का भी होता था और अफसरों के भी single window होते थे. अब single window यानी single window, and he's saying, come to Punjab, there is absolutely no corruption. Number one, and we are proud of that. And number two, they're developing sprawls like Mohali, where just going by the statistics, Punjab happens to be the number two when it comes to ease of doing business and the least crime rate, right? So it definitely has a good atmosphere there. Also, with the government investing in physical and social infrastructure like healthcare and education, it really creates a very, very good opportunity for other entrepreneurs to basically go there and set up shop.
So Ruben, did he leave with any MOU? Did he
Progressive Investment Summit happening on the 22nd and 23rd in Punjab. I'd like to invite people like you there to
That'd be
come and
lovely.
see what we're trying to do. This is happening in Mohali, and this was basically part of that outreach.
22nd or 23rd of February, is it?
That's correct.
All right, 22nd and 23rd of February, business outreach program from Punjab at Mohali. I would love to be there. That'd be really lovely. Now, did he go with any promises? Did he go with any MOUs or something like that he might have signed with people over here?
So I don't have those exact details, but he had excellent conversations with Tata. Tata Steel is supposed to be investing. That's what we've been given to understand.
All right.
Even when it comes to Kotak, right, there were certain very archaic rules, like you only can work with the government when you have 100 branches, and they don't have 100 branches in that particular state. So even things like that have been done away with almost immediately, within like half an hour, because Bhagwant Singh Mann is not just the chief minister; he also is the industries minister for Punjab.
Yes.
And then he met the Jindals, he met various other business houses. So I think it was a very fruitful meeting. And rather than advertising some random MOUs with these astronomical figures, we believe in a new political culture, and we believe in actually doing things.
Wonderful.
So rather than us, kowtowing or some large figure and some large MOU, we are going to announce the start of the project, and that is what we're gunning for.
Now over here, I don't know whether you know anything about this at all. मालूम नहीं आपको कुछ मालूम है कि जानकारी है कि नहीं. Batala used to be the steel town of Punjab, Batala and Gurdaspur. Now most of those steel making factories, outlets, manufacturing units are more or less shut down. They've been shut down over the last 10 years. There was a scheme, one of the promises made by Bhagwant Singh Mann when he was a chief ministerial candidate during the election was that all these would be resurrected. Now, has anything been done on that? Since you mentioned Tata Steel, since if they're going to be coming over there, that'll be wonderful.
Two things, right? So one thing is that Bhagwant Mann made an emotional appeal when it came to the business conference bit, where he said that the solution to the drugs problem in Punjab is actually jobs.
Yes.
Is actually jobs, job generation, because right now the kind of GDP that we are seeing, of course, Punjab is growing at 7.5 and all other states' average is just 5, right?
Yes.
So certainly we are ahead of the curve as far as Punjab is concerned, but what is really lacking is an enabling environment to create jobs, because whatever growth right now we have is essentially jobless growth. And if we want to promote jobs, we have to promote enterprise. If you want 20 million jobs, you need to have your 1 million entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So that's from an India perspective, but from a Punjab perspective, what he said was all of this has to be revived. Punjab has become famous for the wrong reasons, sadly, in the last 10 or 15 years, and without really blaming anyone. He said that the new industrial policy will revive all these things. He gave examples where Punjab is the leading cotton exporter. Punjab also happens to be the leading tractor exporter. There's a huge manufacturing setup for cycles and cycle parts, right?
Yes.
For that matter, even sports equipment.
Yes.
And this has been there, despite the government, despite the fact that you actually had two families, one family, and without taking names, one family lives in a palace, and the other family basically runs a private transport company, right? And whatever used to basically happen there. So I think this is a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
We mean business. We've been able to increase our Delhi budget from 31,000 crores to 69,000 crores.
Right.
And the way we did that was to shut down the Raid Raj, to actually let business be, let business thrive, create an enabling environment, and we've been able to do that in Delhi. We also will be able to do that.
And the other thing is the hosiery industry. The entire hosiery industry effectively shut down about 5 or 6 years ago in and around Ludhiana. I mean, I remember even in Amritsar, and of course Amritsar is in Majha, we are talking about Malwa. In Ludhiana, for example, people from all over the country used to just descend on Ludhiana, and even people from the neighboring countries, just to pick up woolens, just to pick up other things right from Ludhiana. I hope he revives it. I hope he revives all the traditional arts and crafts and industry of Punjab, because it has, as you said very rightly, it has the largest potential for any state in India.
No, he said something brilliant. He said, you actually have a Punjabi franchisee in every part of the world. This is a very hard-working, industrious community. There is a small Punjab in Vancouver. There is a small Punjab in Calgary. There's a small Punjab in Sydney. There's a small Punjab in every place that you go.
Yes.
And Punjabis are proud of their culture. They're proud of their industriousness, their ability to create enterprise. And he's saying कि मुझे पंजाब को California नहीं बनाना, मुझे अपने पंजाब को पंजाब बनाना है.
जी.
So I think all of this is there. There's a great diaspora. There are a lot of people looking at Punjab as a serious investment destination. And as he said, right, just look at the enabling environments that these governments have made. There is talk about making Punjab as dry ports, because all of Central Asia essentially imports its vegetables all the way from Latin America, which is almost 13 hours away.
Yes.
Why can't they not import it from Punjab, which is just about 1.5 hours away, right?
That's right.
Amritsar is right there in North India. So I think we have to reimagine things. We have to relook at things. There's a lot of opportunity, and we will certainly deliver on that.
Ruben, one final question before Pradeep comes in. Yeah, you know, during the election campaign, Arvind Kejriwal ji had promised a couple of things. उसमें सबसे बड़ा वादा ये था, उन्होंने ये कहा था, मैं पंजाब को ऐसा बनाऊंगा कि पंजाब के बच्चे जो हैं वो विदेश में जाकर के अपना करियर नहीं ढूंढेंगे, विदेश से वापस आएंगे. Do you think we are working towards that? Do you think that's happening?
No, of course. See, right now there is no reason for young people and young talent to stay down in Punjab, right? There are no jobs, there are no opportunities, and there is a brain drain happening. Everybody goes to some other major city and starts off something by itself, or basically goes to
England or Canada.
That has been the young people's dream. So I think young people need to be given something to aspire for, and we'll be able to do that.
Right.
So,
RKB, I will have to take your leave.
I'll just ask you one last one. Kejriwal did talk about drug-free Punjab. Because when you talk about drugs, you talk about Punjab. What has Mr. Maan and Mr. Kejriwal together done to see Punjab is drug-free?
Many things. At one point in time, drugs were openly sold, and that's primarily because of narco-terrorism. There has been a crackdown, not just on some random peddlers, like the way we've seen in what the NCP has been doing here in Mumbai. We've actually gone beyond the main suppliers. We've actually had a crackdown, and you will see its results. It's essentially this entire drug production and distribution system is a huge nexus which has to be dismantled. It will take some time. We are there. It's been 8 months of some really good action on the ground. It will take some more time. And remember, MAN speaks about rehabilitation along with this crackdown, that young people who are drug addicts actually require beds, they require
Yes.
rehabilitation. The stigma must go away. People should, it's like any other problem, it's like any other disease. They should get the medical help that they need, and I think that's about it. So yeah, there is a two-pronged approach. It is a border state. There are a lot of challenges, but we're working towards it.
So in effect, Udta Punjab will actually be about flying Punjab. It will be about flying Sikhs.
Udta Punjab would be about Udta graph, Punjab ka graph, Udta Punjab ka graph, and not
And flying
the other things
clubs.
that it's known
There
for.
used to be lots of flying clubs, I remember, in Punjab, all over the place. I hope that comes back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
RKB.
Ruben.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
Ruben.
much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Ruben Mascarenas of the Aam Aadmi Party, very, very happy at the fact that his Chief Minister of Punjab was right here in Mumbai asking for investment and assuring everybody that as far as he's concerned,
But sir, with many some drugs are concerned.
Punjab will be corruption free. But the drug problem is not going to go away, Pradeep.
Because you
It's
need
not
to have
going
a
go
central,
away.
you have to work in tandem with the central agencies.
That's right,
You,
you
know,
have to.
you need to have the government's, central government support.
Yes.
You can't, I mean, cracking down on your own can be done, but you know, the intelligence, because you got border problem there, you got, surrounded all the places, the golden triangle that you say is just at the border of Punjab.
Yes.
So, you know, there's so many pores and holes from where people can just leak in.
And corruption
Yes.
in a lot of places.
Yes.
सबसे बड़ी बात ये है. But I tell you what, I'm really happy that Bhagwant Mann was here. Bhagwant Mann साहब ने यहाँ के business leader से बात करी, banker से बात करी, investor से बात करी, और जो वो पंजाब में करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वो उन्होंने करने की कोशिश यहाँ पर करी. मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ that वो सफल हो जाएं. I hope he succeeds. He's already succeeded quite a lot with regard to schools. He's already succeeded with regard to hospitals and mohalla clinics. Long way to go, of course.
The intentions are there. The
Right.
point is, you got the intentions, you got the
He's
thoughts, you
following-
got a plan out there for you.
प्रदीप जी, he's following his manifesto. जो
Exactly.
manifesto आम आदमी पार्टी ने पंजाब में दिया था,
Yes.
वो बार बार पढ़ के सुना रहे हैं, बोल रहे हैं कि भाई हम लोग ये कर रहे हैं, ये अभी बचा है, आगे करेंगे. I tell you what, I think we have our friend Mr. Rohit Joshi with us. Rohit Joshi साहब, right? He's not here with us, not right now. We will
So,
have him very shortly.
we are talking about the golden
we are
triangle,
talking
yes,
about
yes.
Thane. We are talking about the mud flats in Thane. We are talking about how the mangroves have been destroyed in Thane, and so on and so forth. We'll also have Mr. Ganesh Khankar later on in the show, and we will also talk about किस तरीके से जहाँ तक मुंबई का प्रश्न है, महाराष्ट्र का प्रश्न है, महाराष्ट्र का जो जीडीपी है उसको किस तरीके से आगे बढ़ाना है, उन सब चीजों के बारे में भी हम लोग बात करेंगे. But I tell you what, Pradeep ji, let's go back to the Air India problem. Now, you know, it really, this is about the Air India problem, not about the Thane mud flats. We'll talk about the Thane mud flats as soon as Mr. Rohit Joshi joins us. Pradeep ji, I find this most disturbing as to why, such a huge business empire, somebody we all respect, like the Tatas, why would they cooperate in this kind of thing? I find this strange.
So I think it has got to do, I think Mr. Modi bailed out Ratan Tata when he was in problem, when Cyrus Mistry was alive, and you know, a lot of matters were going on, and various agencies were handling it, in various forums like courts, NCLT, various other quasi-judicial and judicial authorities were looking after these matters. And that's the time I think probably Mr. Ratan Tata required his, and you know that Ratan Tata came out of retirement.
Right.
He came out of retirement to see that Cyrus Mistry is out, and then probably he has an obligation towards the government because
And again, we are
Tata's on
speculating.
its own.
All right, again, we are speculating. All right, this
Tata's
is
on
just
his, yes,
speculation.
frankly speaking, Tata's on his, as you were saying, Tata's on his own never behaves the way it is behaving.
They never do.
The employees is their first priority and employees the last priority. Absolutely clear about it. And everything to deal with employment and, motivating
by the way,
human resources. Human resources is one of the core things that they said, this is the only thing that we
Pradeep ji,
believe in.
that was the main point of
Yes.
difference between Mr. Cyrus Mistry
Yes.
and Ratan Tata.
Exactly.
Because Cyrus Mistry wanted to hive off the entire
Yes.
Indian hotels chain and so on and so forth. That's when the entire board of Tata Sons revolted and they said, we will not do. Tatas are not there just for profit. So I hope that feeling comes back. In the meantime,
not for profit, but then you're evicting, your eviction of people, employees and the families out from the colonies, when you got huge tracts of land to develop. Adani has got huge tracts of land. It's huge.
And again, that is because Mr. Adani is not coming in the picture at all.
Yeah,
he
not
has not
here.
sent a single notice
Absolutely.
to anybody.
Not
Let's
right.
make it very clear.
It's-
Right, I think we have Mr. Rohit Joshi with us. Rohit Joshi Saab, green activist, environmental warrior, right now with us. Rohit Joshi Saab, namaskar. Can't hear you. I can't hear Mr. Joshi. Mr. Joshi?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, right, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Rohit Joshi Saab, thank you so
Good
much.
evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you have a bit of a small crisis in your family. In spite of that, you have joined us. So nice of you. We will not keep you for too long. Sir, आप बताएं जो मड फ्लैट्स हैं ठाणे के. We had done a show with you also over there. हम लोग आपके साथ गए थे वहीं पर ठाणे क्रीक के पास. मड फ्लैट्स जो हैं, मैंग्रोव्स जो हैं, वहाँ पर जो मड फ्लैट्स का जो पूरा इकोसिस्टम है, उसको ये कहा जा रहा है कि बड़े सिस्टमेटिक तरीके से उसको नष्ट भ्रष्ट उसको डिस्ट्रॉय किया जा रहा है. Now, what will be the effect if the people who are destroying that ecosystem, if they actually succeed? Sir, बताएं.
Hello.
जी बोलिए
Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, you're audible, sir.
So yeah. So you both are aware because in the past you both had visited some of the wetlands in Thane
Yes.
and had covered the story, and thank you for that. It really impacted how the corporation actually sustained their plans on wetland modification or beautification, what they call. So actually that story had put a lot of pressure on them, and then they actually had stopped dumping debris on mudflats. So thank you for that stories.
We are always with you, sir.
Yeah, but once again after that the COVID happened, and then nothing was actually happening on the on ground. But then as soon as the COVID situation has settled down, they have again floated the tenders to dump the wetlands and beautify it. So that dumping is right now happening on the mudflats, on the wetlands. So they're completely destroying the natural habitat of birds, not only birds, crustaceans, amphibians, all the marine ecosystem they are destroying. So in 2018,
Yes.
2018, they had proposed a plan of wetland beautification, naming it as Creek Waterflood Development Plan,
Yes.
where they had initially planned to beautify 11 such sites, creek fronts, out of which they got permission to beautify seven sites.
Right.
But when they actually started beautifying those sites, they actually started dumping debris on mudflats.
Oh, God.
And that is when I approached Bombay High Court, and then Bombay High Court stayed that work. But I mean, very serious thing to note that TMC, Thane Municipal Corporation, then moved another writ petition stating that state is not allowing them to proceed work on those sites. And that time they completely hidden the fact that in my PL, the stay order was intact on that work. So that was a perjury, and because of COVID, I couldn't move because courts were not running as such.
Yes.
So they took an disadvantage of this situation, and they started this work. They had paid some 2,061 crores. That is for only four of the sites where they actually beautified it. But none of the site they have is being operational right now, and citizens are not allowed to enter those sites, and they have completely destroyed it. And also, one thing which is again happened was that those wetlands
Gee.
on which TMC had beautified, I mean, they put amphitheaters and they put
Concrete
gardens,
steps.
etc. on.
Yes.
Yeah, and you have visited one or two sites and you have yourself
Yes.
experienced that and witnessed it.
Gee.
So some of the areas were notified as forests, mangrove areas,
Yes.
and they were handed over to the forest department. But now the thing is that those areas which are considered as forest are completely destroyed and they are filled with debris. But forest department had no say on that because that is how that handing over process or the transfer process had happened. So it is a very sad state. And now again this year, under the PM's smart city
Yes.
smart city project, they have once again floated the tender to destroy another 6 sites.
Terrible. Pradeep ji.
Now, Rohit ji, आप बोल रहे थे कि जिस प्रकार से wetlands. Now, wetland is a serious issue for us because Mumbai is sitting on a volcano. We couldn't do anything. Overpopulated, all the wetlands taken over. Now, all the rivers, polluted 4 rivers, totally out of control. Pollution, nobody can control it. Now, the Prime Minister's comes and sewage treatment plants लाऊंगा, ये करूंगा, वो करूंगा. But dumping ground जितने हैं पूरे कचरे से भर गया है. We don't know what to do. It has affected the groundwater. Mumbai is beyond repair right now, it seems. You need a total overhauling of this entire system. Abhi bacha kucha, Navi Mumbai, Thane is the areas where huge tracts of wetlands are there. And now you are saying that udhar bhi forest area mein wetlands, you find this dumping of garbage and dumping of debris. And this is clear cut. A very well thought of plan which if you want to encroach some land and convert it into a concrete jungle, the first thing that you do is dump debris into it, push garbage into it and see that wetlands and mangroves are destroyed. Now you got a big challenge. How are you going to take this? Because we seeing what is happening in Mumbai. It is beyond control. It's neck and neck with Delhi where air quality is concerned. How are you going to save Thane and Navi Mumbai from this kind of onslaught where politicians in power, all parties are not bothered about the environment at all? Roy ji.
This is a really sad state. It's not it's not happening in Mumbai. It's happening in Thane and other parts of Mumbai as well, MMR region as well. In Thane, I can talk specifically. All the debris that is being dumped in on wetlands comes from Mumbai.
Right.
Because it is not allowed to dump debris in Mumbai, and very little spaces are available where they can actually go and dump. But in Thane, the coastal area is unlimited coastal area is available for them to dump debris. So all the debris that is being filled on wetlands is coming from Mumbai. ये मैं बहुत ही मतलब ये सब डेटा जो है स्टडी के बाद मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैंने एक आरटीआई फाइल किया था टीएमसी के पास और उनको पूछा था कि आप ये डेबरी का जो भी डिमोलिशन और कंस्ट्रक्शन वेस्ट उसको बोलते हैं CND वेस्ट उसको बोलते हैं कंस्ट्रक्शन एंड डिमोलिशन वेस्ट उसका एक पॉलिसी आया था 2017 में उसमें टीएमसी ने बताया था कि वो जो डेबरी दैट दे कलेक्ट उसका वो ब्रिक्स बनाते हैं तो मैंने उसके बारे में 1 साल बाद उनको आरटीआई करके पूछा कि हाउ मेनी ब्रिक्स यू हैव सो फार मैन्युफैक्चर्ड और मेड सो दे सेड नन तो मैंने पूछा फिर ये डेबरी कहाँ पे जाता है तो सो इट इज कम्प्लीटली आईवॉश वो पॉलिसी कुछ बनाते हैं लेकिन उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन किधर भी नहीं है और वो पूरा लैंडफिल में ही जा रहा है जो डेबरी है वो उसमें पूरा अपना इकोसिस्टम डिस्ट्रॉय हो रहा है और वहां से ऑब्वियसली अभी थाना का सिचुएशन इज ऑल्सो वेरी डायर so many huge complexes are being erected on after filling those wetlands और उसको भी परमिशन कैसे मिलता है वो भी समझ में नहीं आता है सभी नीचे सिल्ट है उसके ऊपर आप कंस्ट्रक्ट कर रहे हो और उसको भी परमिशन मिल रहा है बड़े बड़े बिल्डर्स इसमें थाने में आ गए और उनके पास बेसिक एमिनिटीज लाइक वाटर इज नॉट बीइंग सप्लाइड बाय टीएमसी के पास खुद का एक वाटर सप्लाई का कुछ भी प्रोविजन नहीं है टीएमसी डजंट इवन ओन एनी डैम from where they can
Yes.
possibly supply the water.
Yes.
So all the water that they are supplying comes through BMC. So they basically buy water from BMC and supply to citizens. So उसके ऊपर भी एक मुंबई हाईकोर्ट में एक याचिका दायर की थी, तभी जस्टिस फोका थे मेरे ख्याल से, तभी उन्होंने कंस्ट्रक्शन बैन लगा दिया था थाने में. और यही होना चाहिए. आपने अभी पूछा कि ये होना क्या चाहिए. अगर कंस्ट्रक्शन बैन होता है तो ये सब जो प्रैक्टिसेस उससे रिलेटेड है वो सब खत्म हो जाएंगी. क्योंकि कंस्ट्रक्शन जब तक चालू रहेगा, उसको डिमांड जब तक है, तब तक ये वेटलैंड डिस्ट्रॉय होना बंद नहीं हो सकता.
लेकिन यहाँ पर
क्योंकि इसमें
रोहित
सब
जी आपने एक
nexus
बहुत बड़ी बात कही, बहुत बड़ी बात आपने कही कि उन्होंने बिल्डिंग्स बनाई हैं सिल्ट के ऊपर, नीचे सिल्ट है, उसके ऊपर बिल्डिंग खड़ी कर दी है. नाउ एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, नॉट नाउ, लेकिन 10 साल के बाद, 15 साल के बाद वो तो नीचे जाने वाली है. भले आप कुछ भी कर लीजिए, मतलब के एक बहुत बड़ा डिजास्टर, जैसे प्रदीप जी ने कहा, वी आर सिटिंग ऑन अ वोल्केनो, वी आर सिटिंग ऑन द एंटायर ग्राउंड शिफ्टिंग, मतलब भूस्खलन होने वाला है वहां पे. सारी की सारी जो बिल्डिंग्स है वहां पे नीचे जाने वाली हैं. ग्राउंड एक्विफायर जो हैं वो पूरे के पूरे खत्म हो चुके हैं. ग्राउंड वाटर आप खत्म कर रहे हैं. वैसे भी ठाणे में जो वेटलैंड्स हैं, दे आर दी ओनली थिंग्स बाय द वे लेफ्ट which are recharging the ground water. उसको भी अगर आप खत्म कर रहे हैं, तो रोहित जोशी साहब, ये सवाल में हर एक अपने जितने भी ग्रीन एक्टिविस्ट, तकरीबन हर रोज कोई ना कोई आता है हमारे शो में, उसके लिए आप सब लोगों का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया और आप सब लोगों को साधुवाद. हर एक समय पूछता हूं कि जो अफसर हैं वहां पे, जो लोग ये काम कर रहे हैं, क्या उनको मालूम नहीं है, क्या उनके बच्चे वहां पर नहीं रहते हैं? वो अपने बच्चों के लिए क्या छोड़ के जा रहे हैं? What are they going to leave behind? रोहित जोशी साहब,
यही सोचने वाली बात है कि हमें ये इकोसिस्टम्स और सबके बारे में बचपन से ही पढ़ाया जाता है
जी.
ये जो ऑफिसर्स हैं उनके बच्चे भी बड़े बड़े स्कूलों में, इंटरनेशनल स्कूलों में पढ़ते रहेंगे
जी.
वहां पे भी इकोसिस्टम क्या रहता है, मरीन इकोसिस्टम क्या रहता है, उसके बारे में पढ़ाया जाता है. व्हाई मैंग्रोव्स आर इम्पोर्टेंट, व्हाई वेटलैंड्स आर इम्पोर्टेंट,
Yes.
दैट दे नो. बट इन प्रैक्टिकलिटी इफ यू सी कि ये इनको कुछ पड़ी नहीं है, उनको पैसे के आगे कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है. इसकी वजह से ही उनको ऐसा लग रहा है कि हमारे बच्चे तो क्या है, हमारे बच्चे तो थोड़े ही इधर रहने वाले हैं, हमारे बच्चे तो यूएस जाएंगे, यूरोप जाएंगे, वहां पे हम लोग सेटल हो लेंगे, यहाँ पे रखा ही क्या है. सो दैट इज दी, ऐसे ही सोचते हैं वो लोग. और
मतलब रामकली मैके चली, सबकी खटिया खड़ी करके, कहने का मतलब ये हुआ. कहने का मतलब ये हुआ.
And this seems to be an organized crime. The way things are, मुंबई से डेब्री आ रहा है, मुंबई से डेब्री आके वहां पर आपके वेटलैंड्स, आपके लैंड फिलिंग हो रहा है, garbage, mangroves are being destroyed. It seems
That's a
to
mafia.
be, it's an organized racket जिस प्रकार से चल रहा है.
It's a mafia, प्रदीप जी.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
सीधी
Sir,
सादी बात है.
I was the first person to demand to book all these FIRs under MOCA.
Yes.
Okay.
Because this is, because everybody is involved. This is all nexus.
जी.
Politicians, bureaucrats, everybody.
जी. जी.
अब ठाणे को बचाना है, रोहित जी, you have been continuously, you are like a warrior, you have been fighting. I think wetlands, how about the rivers positions कैसे ठाणे में? Any rivers out there like मुंबई में 4 river है, बजाज साहब.
There are lakes in Thane.
We have been trying, water bodies prevent करो, बचाओ, कैसे भी करे, जिस प्रकार से dumping हो रहा है, garbage filling हो रहा है, landfill हो रहा है. But it's been tiring. In fact, many of your colleagues from here have been in the courts. I think Nanda Kumar Pawar is a colleague. He has been fighting from 10 to 12 years. The courts are moving at slow pace. The BMC is moving at slow pace, filing petitions against the people who want to protect environment, charges, accusations. तो ये river और water bodies का क्या हालत है ठाणे में? How do you find them?
See, Thane is known as the city of lakes. You must be aware.
Yes.
So there used to be a time when there used to be 65 or more than 65 lakes in Thane. Now that has been reduced to 30 plus lakes.
65 to 50%.
65 to 30, yeah. So now there are 30 lakes, and the water inside those lakes are not drinkable, obviously,
Right.
because they have completely concretized those lakes under the beautification.
जी.
So that is how bad it is. And
They have
you must
concretized
be
the
aware
walls of
that-
the lakes.
Yes.
Oh God, this is वो नो वंडर. कहने का मतलब ये हुआ रोहित जोशी जी कि अभी हाल ही में खबर आई थी कि कुछ लेक्स में you could actually see surfing bubbles the way you see in Bangalore. In Thane, there was a lot of pollution. So much of pollution is there inside the lakes. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. Every year, you will see one or two news reports stating that fishes have died due to toxicity in the water.
Ji.
So, what is happening is, see, our drainage system is very old. It is
Yes.
from British era.
Yes.
So that water also gets mixed with this water, and it contaminates even if it is drinkable, then contamination is very high.
Yes.
So it is of no use for citizens also, or there is no ecosystem left in those.
तो रोहित जोशी साहब, आप ये बताएं,
Lakes.
आप इतने सालों से लड़ रहे हैं,
those
इतने सालों से आप जंग लड़ रहे हैं इफेक्टिवली. You've been fighting a war. We've been watching you. आपको उम्मीद की किरण कोई दिख रही है कहीं कि मतलब शायद सरकार जाग जाएगी, शायद ये बिल्डर्स और पॉलिटिशियंस और माफिया लॉर्ड्स का जो ये नेक्सस है, ये शायद जाग जाएगा और ये कहेगा नहीं भाई, हमें अपने जंगलों को, अपने मार्शलैंड को, अपने वेटलैंड को, अपने मैंग्रोव्स को प्रिजर्व करके रखना है, क्योंकि अगर शहर ही नहीं रहेगा तो इनका पैसा, ये पैसा लेके कहां जाएंगे? समंदर में अपनी कब्र बनाएंगे क्या?
सर इतनी जानकारी इनको होती तो ये ऐसा अनपढ़ वाला काम करते नहीं. लेकिन ये सब जो कुछ भी चालू है यहाँ, इसको कहाँ तो स्टॉप आने वाला है, और हमको वो मालूम है कब आने वाला है. और ये जोशीमठ का आपने रिसेंट एग्जांपल देखा है कि वहां पे क्या हुआ है.
दुरुस्त बात.
वैसा ही सिचुएशन जब तक थाने मुंबई में नहीं आता है ना, तब तक ये लोग सुधरेंगे नहीं. क्योंकि हम लोग ने तभी भी देखा था कि जब भी सुनामी आई थी उसके बाद मुंबई तो बच गया, लेकिन सुनामी के बाद काफी उसमें संशोधन हुआ और काफी सारी नई चीजें आई और काफी सारे एक्ट्स भी बने. अच्छी खासी गवर्नमेंट ने भी बहुत सारी पॉलिसीज बनाई. लेकिन अभी काफी टाइम उसको गुजर चुका है, तो वापस सब लोग नींद में आ गए. वापस कुछ ना कुछ होना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो लोग सुधरने वाले ऐसा है नहीं.
कहने का मतलब ये हुआ कि हम लोग कि जब तक 26 जुलाई नहीं होगा एक बार फिर, तब तक लोग जागने वाले नहीं है. Now that is a very
कुंभकर्ण की नींद है. कुंभकर्ण की नींद है, उनको जागना ही नहीं है तब तक. और हम लोग का काम तो सर एक ही है कि हम लोग लोगों को अवेयर करते हैं, हम लोग लोगों को एजुकेट करते हैं, हम लोगों को सेंसिटाइज करते हैं, और हमें जितना हो सकता है हम लोग करते हैं. लेकिन हम लोग इक्का दुक्का है, आपको भी मालूम है कि कितने लोग इसमें है और कितना.
तो सब लोगों को सबके लिए संदेश ये है, ठाणे के जितने लोग हैं, मुंबई के जितने लोग हैं, नवी मुंबई के जितने लोग हैं, पनवेल के जितने लोग हैं, सब लोगों को घरों के बाहर निकलना होगा. अगर आप अपनी और अपने बच्चों के लिए एक सुरक्षित पर्यावरण चाहते हैं, कि एक सुरक्षित पर्यावरण में वो लोग बड़े हों, बच्चे फलें और फूलें, अगर आप ये चाहते हैं, so you'll have to come out of your houses and you will have to protect your environment, because this is all we've got. That is all we've got.
And sir, also you have to ask questions to the authorities.
Yes.
Why this is not being, why these policies are not being implemented. हम लोग का जीवन खतरे में आप क्यों डाल रहे हो?
जी.
आप एक सोचो राजीव जी, हमारे पास जो एक मेड आती है, उसको हम महीने का कुछ सैलरी देते हैं. उसने रोज का झाड़ू पोछा किया कि नहीं, उसने वो बर्तन धोया कि नहीं, वो हम लोग देखते हैं और उसके बाद ही उसको पैसे देते हैं. जहाँ पे हम लोग लाखों करोड़ रुपए का टैक्स देते हैं और वहां पे ऐसा ये लोग बर्बाद करते हैं. और वो बर्बाद ऐसे नहीं कर रहे, उसमें बर्बादी ऐसी है कि हमारे शेख चिल्ली जैसे वो जो पेड़ पे हम लोग बैठे हैं, वही पेड़ वो काट रहे हैं. ये काम ये लोग कर रहे हैं.
That's right. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. As Pradeep ji said just now, दिल्ली के AQI और मुंबई और ठाणे के AQI में कोई ज्यादा फर्क नहीं है.
Neck to neck. We are all neck to neck.
बिल्कुल वही है. बिल्कुल वही है.
दिल्ली सिर्फ बदनाम है, बाकी मुंबई में भी वही हाल है.
जी, दिल्ली सिर्फ बदनाम है. हाल मुंबई का भी तकरीबन वैसा ही है जैसे दिल्ली का है. सीधी सादी बात है. और इसके बावजूद कि मुंबई में संजय गांधी नेशनल पार्क है, आरे फॉरेस्ट है और अरेबियन सी है यहां से लेकर के अफ्रीका तक, उसके बावजूद हम लोगों ने ये हाल कर दिया है मुंबई का और ठाणे का. रोहित जोशी साहब, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका, आप हमारे साथ जुड़े. इट्स ऑलवेज इंस्पायरिंग एंड फॉर मी पर्सनली आई फील सो होपफुल आफ्टर सीइंग यू. द वे यू हैव बीन फाइटिंग, it's absolutely amazing and we are all very grateful to you. Keep doing it. We are always with you and we are very proud.
My pleasure, sir. Thanks for inviting.
We are very, very proud of you. Rohit Joshi Saab, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, that's just about it on tonight's show on Nation Now. Nation Now में आज सिर्फ इतना ही. आप अपने कमेंट जरूर भेजें। आपका शहर है, आपका राज्य है महाराष्ट्र, आपका देश है, हमारा देश है हिंदुस्तान, भारत। इसमें क्या करना चाहिए, क्या होना चाहिए, क्या नहीं होना चाहिए। अभी जो आपने सुना, जॉर्ज अब्राहम साहब को आपने सुना, एयर इंडिया एम्प्लॉइज की प्रॉब्लम्स को लेकर के, रूबेन मास्करेनस को आपने सुना, बड़ी उम्मीद के साथ रूबेन मास्करेनस साहब आए, वेरी होपफुल इंटरव्यू, वेरी ऑप्टिमिस्टिक इंटरव्यू विद रिगार्ड टू इन्वेस्टमेंट इन पंजाब, एंड ऑफ कोर्स यू हर्ड रोहित जोशी and the depressing state of affairs as far as our environment is concerned. And that environment is not something that you read in the books. कहीं दूर कुछ हो रहा है जंगल में, वो नहीं है। ये इसका सीधा साधा असर आपके ऊपर होने वाला है, प्रदीप जी के ऊपर होने वाला है, मेरे ऊपर होने वाला है, हमारे सब परिवारों के ऊपर होने वाला है। तो इसलिए जागो, मुंबई कर जागो, अपने पर्यावरण की रक्षा करना हमारा फर्ज बनता है। That's it, that's all we've got for you. आप सब लोगों को नमस्कार, जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र, जय भवानी, जय शिवाजी, वंदे मातरम।
वंदे मातरम।